everybody. This is Darwin Reina. I'm the festival director of Hospitalet de Llobregat International Film Festival. Today we have a great filmmaker from Poland. Her name is Julia, and she did this great work, Arabic Secret, which I really enjoy watching your film. It's like a documentary film. Well, you're gonna explain that to me soon. How are you, Julia?
I'm good. Although with the crazy times, I'm pretty good. I'm doing well, thank you. How are you?
You made it. So we
yeah.
appreciate that. Thank you so much. So let's start with the why do you write this project? What was the drive for you of when you start, when you got the idea? Why do you do it? What was the story behind Arabic Secret?
The beginnings, you mean?
Yes.
Oh, it's a pretty crazy story. I'm laughing all the time that the making of should be another story, like another film, out of it, because it was so crazy. It's kind of miracle that it happened, really. So it started at the party, like in a deep winter 2007. So it was like really long time ago.
Nice.
Yeah, and we met there, and like in the middle of the night, and Kamil doesn't look so Polish, if you can look Polish. Mm-hmm. So, the curly hair, the super long eyelashes. I was like, hey, where is this guy coming from? I mean, he's super cute and interesting. Mm-hmm. So we started talking, and, it was like, late in the night. So the next day when we met, the first thing he did was to introduce the CD, like the best of Illham Al Madfai, telling me, hey, this is my father. I was like, okay, awesome, but I don't even know your last name, I mean, because, and he was, oh yeah, I have a different last name. And then he started telling me the story. Mm-hmm. So that was pretty fascinating. It was so funny because I knew his father before I knew who this guy was. So I was like, wow. So this was really intriguing, and I thought it was worth starting digging in, and yeah, so we went out for a while, like in the beginning, but then our ways split, and we met after 8 years again. Wow. Which was pretty crazy because wow. It was just not the timing for this, and when we met in 2013, I was just about to pass the exam to the film school, and that was exactly the project I was taking the exam with.
But how was the pre-production? How was it difficult? It was a long process for you? Tell us a little bit about that so people know about the filmmaking world. This is my intention.
Oh yes, it was a challenge. It was a challenge, yeah. Without any doubts. The whole film, like the whole production, from going to school till the premiere, it took me 4 years. Yeah. I mean, documentary, you cannot decide about everything. You have to submit, surround her, and really follow what's happening with your protagonist. So the thing was, the pre-production. I mean, we started the talks with Kamil again when we met in 2013. We were 3 months going for coffee, really talking about, hey, do you really want to do this? Because it's a huge step, and really go on this journey is a challenge, right? And for him even greater because it's personal stuff, it's a personal story. And when he said yes, in March 2014 we started recording. Wow. And it took us in Poland, I think we shot for about 2 years, but it's a day a month or 3 days a month or 3 months break, it was always, depending on what was happening in the Kamil's life.
Wow. So the production time, it was pretty long as well, right? So who was behind you with the camera? It was you or was somebody else? How that works?
I work with my DOP, my director of photography, and he's a great guy. I mean, he's a great cinematographer, but as well, he gave me a lot of support, which was super, super crucial in this case because everything was unpredictable. So, he the support from my team was really amazing. And it was a tiny team because just a DOP, the sound engineer, me, Kamil, yeah, basically. Even the production manager couldn't go to Jordan with us because we didn't have enough money.
Right.
And I was holding camera in the last scene. I mean, in the second to the last scene, because we need 2 cameras there. We couldn't, miss a single second there.
Can understand a little bit, how documentaries works. What do you think was for you the hardest part?
In production or pre-production? Production. I mean, okay, so there are like different parts. The first was to collect money. It's always a challenge. It's in my case, it was even more difficult because I didn't know the ending. I didn't know if the mission would be accomplished, and basically no one believed us that we will do it, and that was really hard because I was absolutely convinced that we were gonna do this. And I don't know, I think like my faith helped a lot in this because it was like pretty crazy, I mean, the whole mission. So yeah, to convince producers and co-producers that we're gonna succeed was like, wow, a big challenge. The other thing was planning the shoot in Jordan. We had to wait, like basically when I stopped shooting in Poland, when we completed the Polish part, right. I waited half a year for the sign that we can go to Jordan, which is like, it's crazy because it's like, and you never know because
it's a valuable time, right?
Sorry?
It's a valuable time, 6 months, wow, crazy.
It's crazy. I know, exactly. And it was like, we never knew because like these artists, they never publish what they're gonna do. So it's like the concert I found was published 2 days before we went there, so I found the information on December 28th, and on December 30 we were in the plane,
Wow.
So I had to organize the production within like 2 days, like rent equipment, ask all the guys if they're available, put all my savings in it because the school was closed then. So it was like, really
that's the hardest part for sure.
Yeah.
Difficult. In 2 days you have to pull off everything and make it happen to go there. That's difficult. So I imagine, let's go to post-production. I imagine you end up with tons of hours, right, for editing your documentary. How do you manage to trim it down, to what the length of the movie is now? How was the editing process for you? Or who edited? It was somebody else, right?
Yeah. I had Hubert Pusek, my editor. He's amazing. I hope he would come with me in March. That would be pretty awesome. He did an excellent job. Like we worked together, like arm in arm, the whole process. I mean, there were not that many hours. I think so. We never counted it really because we shot on different cameras. So the files they have different weight. So we just didn't spend time on this. But I think this is the risk of shooting on digital now, that people shoot everything, and that's really bad idea because you really have to know what to shoot. Because look, all the masterpieces from last century, the only one, but they had tape, they had to discipline, they had to know what they were shooting. Right? So I try to plan it pretty precisely as much as I could, so to shoot really what we need, because you make the movie on paper first, even if it's a documentary, which sounds pretty weird, but you have to write down the ideas. It helps a lot, and it really happens that quite a lot of what you've written down happens afterwards, and so we work I think we had this workflow that we edited after each part of shot material footage.
Oh,
you
no.
know, and it helped us a lot because we knew exactly what we need next, you know, if the story like works for now. So that was, I really enjoyed this way of working. And the main part, I think it was, we edited for like 4 months or something.
How do you decide the film was ready? How do you decide that? By getting feedback by people? Listen, of course, you listen to your editor, of course. But at the end of the day, is your film, is your idea, is your vision. How do you decide was what we have now in the festival, it was the final thing for you? Can you tell us a little bit that process?
Yeah, that's a great question. I mean, it's always, I mean, we tried all the solutions and all the ways to tell the story, you know, like in the middle of the whole editing process, we just put everything upside down, you know, just to make sure that we're going in the right direction. And it's like, I think that the deconstruction part is really important as well, you know, because it just gives you another angle and fresh look. And so, but yeah, of course we showed to some people, the ones that we really cared for the opinion from. So, because it's another thing that you should be very careful not to show too many people, you know, because everybody has an opinion, and you can get lost in all these opinions. So it's super important that you stick to like 4 or 5 people you really appreciate. Like, you know, it doesn't matter. It can be your grandma. Seriously, I mean. And it's good to show to someone who has no idea about making movies, because this is the story, how the story has to defend itself, right? So we showed to my professor, you know, to a couple of people, and you know, it kind of, we reached the point when it just felt right, you know, and the story, like the message of the story was there, and yeah, and the other thing is that you have to say stop in one moment, because otherwise, you know, it has no end, right?
Yeah, it's
the deadlines, you know. The deadlines, they help, right?
Yeah, exactly. So you were sending like clues, reference of music, or you give the composer room to do whatever he wants. How's your approach in music? We all know music is very important.
Yeah, in this case, it was like extremely important because it was about a singer as well, right? I mean, I had a very clear vision what I wanted, and I decided from the beginning that I want to work with the composer because I wanted to blend with Illham's music. So it had to correspond to Al Madfai's, you know, genre of music, because it's one of the. So yeah, music, you can tell it's one of the protagonists of this movie, without any doubt. So one of my like favorite composers is Gustavo Santaolalla, and Argentinian, you know, like fame. He's absolutely amazing what he does. So that was my reference. I mean, for the part that Wojtek Błażejczyk composed. I mean, so I sent him some pieces, and like he did amazing job because he just took the essence of it and made his own piece corresponding to Illham Al Madfai's music. So
we know your film is about life, right? The searching for, you know, we all have those questions that what was the thing, yeah, you were expecting for the audience to react with your film? Just tell me one thing.
Yeah, sure. I mean, you know, one thing is to expect something. The other is to get surprised by, you know, by the audience. I mean, I really, like, my aim was like really make people reflect upon their own, you know, like family stories. Yeah.
Julia, thank you very much. It's been a pleasure. Thanks for your time, and yeah, good luck with everything and your nominations. Hope I can see you in Barcelona, right?
Oh, I'd love to. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Julia. Take care.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.